Hey, welcome back to the KB Money Show. We back, baby. Hey, it's been a minute. Hey, but we decided to bring it back, man. So here we are. Here we go. Got my co-host, Kim Barney. You already know who I am, KB. It's the KB Money Show. Um, hey, let's get into it, man. How was your week, man? How your week been, bro? Like, what's been up in your world?
Wow, my week was pretty good, just out there looking to close deals and navigate this world, as a Gen Zer, just keeping up with the trends and staying up to date on things, But it was a pretty good week overall, How was your week?
Yeah, what before we get into that, like when you're saying you're trying to close deals, like what industry you in? You don't have to go into like the company and all that, but like what industry you in? So for the folks that don't know you, like say first time listeners, first time people that's watching.
For sure. So first of all, before I get into that, I wanted to say thank you to the listeners that, are listening for the first time and are learning this, here to go on this journey with us. Thank you for joining us. And so, in terms of what I do, though, so like I said, I won't get into the specifics. I don't want to get in trouble with nothing. But that long story short, I'll put it like this: I work in B2B software sales, and I sell the software that helps businesses pay their employees. I'll put it like that. Helps make it a lot more convenient, and a lot of other services, but that's the main that's a big one that we're known for. And so, I've been in sales. I just graduated. It's coming up on a year from now. Feels crazy to
Wow,
say.
that's crazy, man. I remember it was just dang, we were just at the graduation.
Yep. And so I'm just, I'm fortunate, this COVID stuff's been crazy, but I've been fortunate to, I was fortunate to have had my high school graduation in person at the stadium back home, in Mississippi. And I was fortunate to have this graduation, all three of them from the business school, college and all that. I was fortunate to have them all in person. And some people didn't get to have that. And that's, I mean, they still graduated, still got the degree, and still got the stamp on the resume. But just this COVID just gives you an opportunity to you know remind yourself to stay grateful and just live in the moment and enjoy what you got.
Yeah, no, that's facts. So okay, so that just give I just wanted the listeners to have a little some little insight about you. So about me, I'm KB. I'm in H Town, Houston, Texas. I'm in the tech industry. We'll keep it there. Married, and just have a passion for helping people, man, with their finances. So my tagline is like helping people build their net worth $1 at a time. And so that's so that's what we doing, and that's what my mission is. But even bigger than the money, one of the things that I wanted the podcast to be about, the show to be about, is to also make sure we're also addressing the other areas of life. We're talking about faith, family intertwined in that, having some fun. And the whole reason that we building our net worth is for freedom, right? Like freedom for the options to be able to do and move how you want to move. It's not necessarily so you can run away from your job. That's not even like you might enjoy what you do. So it's like it's bigger than that. Like it's freedom slash options to move how you want to move. And if you do get to a point with what you're currently doing, you can easily make a pivot. If you like wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I don't want to do that no more. But you don't have the financial pressures weighing on you on your decision to pivot and go do something else. And so that's a little bit about me. In terms of my week, the week was great, man. The week was great. It's a crazy busy season, but it's always a blessing. Yesterday, date night on Fridays, y'all learn more about that every Friday. Again, what did I say? Hey, family is important. So for me, my wife is important to me. So we have a standing date night on Friday. So low key, we just kept it low key. I went into the wifey to go grab something to eat at a vegan spot in H Town. It's called Green Seed. And so she ate outside. We sat out there and we made sure we sat in the sun because in Houston We wanted to get some sun. Because I had been in the house all day working 100% remote. So I had been doing that. And so just wanted us to have some time together. And then once we ate, went back to the crib, we Netflixed and chill, baby. So and kicked it like that. We deep into Manifest right now, man. It's a show on Netflix. They ain't paying us or nothing, but hey, that's what we watching. So that's our thing, having a good time doing that. And so we deep into that show. We in season 4, and so we
Oh
locked
wow.
in right now. And so that's our thing right now.
Is that the latest season?
Yeah, that's the last one from what I know. But yeah, I mean it's on Netflix, so yeah.
Nice, nice.
Sometime when they go there, the seasons are usually done. They're done with it.
Hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, we're kind of floating and trying to figure out what next show we're gonna watch. We just finished Breaking Bad, and
Oh man, man, that was my show, bro.
yeah, that's one of them shows. You gotta wait a little bit before you have to a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just taking it slow. We've been rewatching The Rookie because like we just
Okay.
so used to binging shows now that we watched all The Rookie, and then now that it came out with the new season, we done forgot all the other stuff. We watched it all at the same time. So we just rewatched the last season, and now about to get into the latest season that came out. I think it came out like a while back, months ago. But I'll top into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, hey, let's get into it. Hey, this the KB Money Show. We got to talk about that money, but we also got to talk
Uh,
about family and fun time too. So, that's important as well. And so, all right. So let's talk about, man. We're gonna come out the gate. I think it's gonna be spicy coming out the gate, man. All right. So, uh, Dave Ramsey say
uh-oh, uh-oh.
Gen Z and millennials are lazy. So I was watching a little clip and I was like, man, we gotta talk about that, man. He was on Fox News. It wasn't that I was watching Fox News. I don't really, care about all that, but I just saw the clip that he was on there and he was being interviewed, and I just tuned in because it was Dave. And so you know how Dave be, you know what I'm saying? But that's what he said, man. So like when you hear that, like
He said, and
he
millennials?
and millennials
Oh,
are
that's you too
lazy.
then.
Huh? Yeah, yeah, no,
That's
it's
you
me too.
too.
No, it's me too. It's me too. So like,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
man.
So like when you hear that,
Man.
how that make you feel, like what you thinking, like what,
What is Dave?
huh? Oh
What
man,
is
Dave like a
Dave?
boomer. He like a baby boomer.
Yeah. So honestly, I mean, are there lazy people in the generation? For sure. Like, I mean, you see it. And maybe are there more? I ain't gonna say there's not. I don't know. There might be more. I don't know. I ain't counting. But I think that it really just depends on what you choose to pay attention to. Like, man, just it really depends on the circles. What you put up with for yourself, what standards you set for yourself, and then B, the crew and the circle that you construct around yourself. You got to have certain goals in mind. And so if you got friends that have lazy mindsets, or they just don't have goals that they're looking to reach towards, you're gonna, you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. So you're gonna end up flying in the same direction. And so I don't want to paint a whole generation, and I can't speak to millennials. I can let you speak to millennials,
Yeah.
but for Gen Z, here's what I will say. Okay, here's what I will say too about Gen Z, that maybe an older generation might not understand as much, because when we say here's what might be a controversy that people say or hear about, like, oh, AI is going to replace people and take people's jobs, man, or just machines and technology, period. But nah, as long as there's technology, there's a there technology. The key ingredient in technology is the human capital. It's we need people to advance it. So as long as there's technology, there's always going to be a job for people. Now, will it phase out certain jobs? Sorry, we don't have a milkman no more. I'm sorry. I ain't never seen milkman. I was born in 2001. I never seen one. I'm sure it
Yeah.
was a good person though. I'm glad he had that job, and I wish I'm sure he found something else to do. But We don't cry for the milkman. Why do we cry for other jobs that AI can replace? But I bring up AI because I didn't graduate it. I can talk about it now. After this, I'm gonna kick to you. But I
And where'd you graduate, by the way? I forgot. What? Tell remind me again. I forgot.
I hope it ain't. Do they got no statute limitations? Not a. I graduated from the. So I grew up, Gulfport, Mississippi, and I decided I wanted to attend the University of Pennsylvania for their business school. They was top in the world. I was looking among schools, and long story short, I knew I wanted to study business because you was in business. I mean, I'm trying to be like big bro. I want to study business. And all of the schools, the only major I saw was economics. But then I was at this college fair and I picked up a UPenn pamphlet, flipped to the business school section and saw, and got to all the majors. That thing almost fell to the ground with all the majors that they had. I said, wow, you know what? This school I never heard of. I'm gonna have to give it a shot. But the pandemic hit my freshman spring, and so we got sent home. But still have to finish classes, still have to graduate. And so some people took gap years, but we were taking classes and stuff online. And man, I saw Gen Z in action. I saw some people folded. Some people had different scenarios, but some people was thriving using that technology. They were using Chat GPT. Like when that came out, that changed the
Mm.
game. I couldn't imagine being a professor or teacher, especially in high school and stuff. But like on the one hand, like I can see the older generation being like, no, don't use this technology. It's cheating. But I see, whereas and then I'll end on this example. I'm gonna ask you about this. What do you think about this? What do I say to the person who tells me, and I ain't gonna use no names, what do I say to my homeboy that comes to me and says, yo, Keon, I'm graduating from an Ivy League and with a computer science degree. I'm walking into a job, 120K. Yo, I'm using Chat GPT all day with this coding stuff. It's a tool. And so what do you say to him? You tell him he's cheating, he's doing it wrong. And so what do you think?
Yeah, no. So, and if for the listeners out there, this is related. Uh, Dave Ramsey saying Gen Z and millennials are lazy because you're basically that's kind of what you kind of speak to that. But no, for me, I actually explore. I look at it from a balanced perspective. I look at it as like they were an early adopter, and you have people that are still on the old thinking model, if you will, and so
Mm,
they're framing it as cheating. And I guess in a traditional structure, it could be, I could see how you could say that. But from the earlier adopter perspective, they're the person that's going to be the early adopter, and they're the one that's probably going to flourish in this AI world, if you will, because they're looking at it as a tool and they're leveraging it as their assistant. And so you already have some intelligence within you because if you don't have any common sense, like you're not a productive person, like if you don't have some type of intelligence already, it's not going to replace that. So
right.
basically it's just going to become your assistant, like, and just
Hmm.
help you become more productive. And so you know how
Right.
people have virtual assistants or people have executive assistants, like, so it's like it's basically your personal researcher. You know what I'm saying? And so basically that, and you're using it in that way. And so I think it's challenging folks to look at it in a different way. In terms of they're being creative, they're using their creativity, they're combining the tools, their creativity, and being productive with it and getting a result. And so it's like, how can you say I'm cheating on that? That's not what Dave Ramsey was speaking to. Dave Ramsey, just to add a little bit more context and color. I know it was a little spicy topic, so we just having fun. But basically, he was basically saying that I'm paraphrasing, was like they were just talking about saving, investing naturally, and some people were, and basically summing it up like people were like, well, I don't even know if I'm gonna live to see this, investing
Right.
consistently. But it's like, well, if you live all for today and not prepare from a financial perspective, and you do live that
You're gonna
long.
wish you ain't make it.
Facts, right? And so and so that's really what the context was. And really he was saying, hey, it's a segment of folks, they just they sorry. They are lazy. But then there are some segments in both generations where they crushing, they doing their thing. And so he was balancing how he was saying he wasn't just, but for these internet streets, you got to be spicy when you come out the gate. You know what I'm saying? No different from a news headline, but yeah,
Yeah,
but that was good insight from you and kicking it to me. But yeah, that's my take on it. I don't think everybody lazy, and you can never, when you generalize and you're already kind of, it's going to be kind of a hot take already because you're grouping in the high performers, the people that is making it happen, and so mixed in with the people that's not making it happen and not doing what they, say that they want to do, but they're not doing it. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, well, to my point though earlier about Gen Z and millennials, I mean, just based off of you, I mean, you might be an outlier. I don't know, but I would consider you an early adopter, especially in terms like the AI trend. I just remember a while back, you was telling me it's like, yeah, like this is where it's at. It ain't going nowhere. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, yeah. But for some reason, the light bulb hit me like a month ago, and I was like,
Mm,
yo, like, and I guess specifically, I had a certain scenario that I was like, yo, I need to do the scenario. Or I need the certain situation like I need help with. And I say, you know what, I'm gonna give this ChatGPT stuff a chance to just help out. Why not? It's like, wow, like that stuff will run through a wall if you train it to.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
yeah, no, that's a fact. Like I said, it's your personal assistant. Like it's your personal. If you can wrap your head around hey, it's your personal assistant. You got to prompt your assistant to do something, to go
right.
do something and bring it back to you. But
Hmm.
they're not physically going anywhere. It's a tool to where you type it in. You don't even have to be perfect at it, and it'll potentially help you. And so I'm encouraging everyone to continue to adopt that and whatever you're doing. Yeah,
And not just Chat GPT. I forgot. So I saw this video earlier, and we can wrap up. I'm not gonna mention no brand names. I don't know if I did know they didn't sponsor us, but even just video AI, how far it's come in the past year? Like a year ago, it looked all choppy and blocky, and he was like, "What is
yeah,
this cartoon video game?" But look at a video AI now and say it don't look like, oh wow, like that. If you want to pay attention, it looks real.
yeah, yeah. Fact. Yeah, I saw that. It was interesting. It was definitely interesting. Okay. All right. So let's switch gears here. Because you talked about it was a good segue too because you were talking about um the milkman and all that and changes. Well, there's some changes. So Jerome Powell came out with the CPI information on inflation, and it came in hot. So it's been running the CPI this time around three. It's been running 3 point inflation been running 3.5% over 12 months, but you and I, we like to make things real. We're not like looking to come and give you all the detailed stuff that you can go look up yourself. We just going to share certain current events and then talk about it and how is that related to you and your daily life. So when you hear those things for you and your real life as someone that's grinding 9 to 5, fiance, doing your thing, when you hear about inflation, what does that mean to you? How are you approaching it? Do you have concerns? Uh, and yeah, floor is yours.
Man, that's a good question. And it sounds like such an easy question when it's like, oh, duh, inflation, some money goes up. But it's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
And so just to clarify, he said 3.5%, 3.5%.
Yeah, 3.5%.
All right, so that's even a layer right there. Like, what's considered normal? Is that bad? Is that good? So, all
Yeah.
right, so I'm not going to consider myself a finance bro or a finance professional. Take it from somebody who went to an Ivy League business school. This is what I remember being normal. I remember 2% being considered normal, especially for the US. Other countries do what they do, but the US 2% is normal. Higher, kind of crazy. Lower is really crazy, but 2%. Now, If you disagree with me, I'm talking about those in the audience, you disagree, show me a business degree. What they had to say, go band for band, money for money, let's go degree for degree. If you got more, hop, come on the show and educate us for real. Should educate us in the audience. If you got less, just listen, just keep listening. And so what that means to me though, if I hear that inflation is up, what I also remember from class in our life is that that means that things are going to get a whole lot more expensive. That same deal you was getting for this or that, you might not be able to rely on that deal. Now you about to start seeing signs get posted on businesses. Hey, we increasing the cost of the bread by 10 cents. We increasing the cost of the popcorn in the movie theaters by $1, $2. So your rent's going up by another $100, $200 next year. So things is about to start. People about to start looking for ways to get extra money in and start raising money. So you got to be careful. Don't become a way that they earn more money. Don't become their source of revenue. But at the same time, be on your P's and Q's too. You need to start looking for ways to raise your revenue. Start looking for either raises in your job, or if you're in sales, start hitting, figure out, try to get something going, build pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So, shameless plug, one of our sponsors, Level Careers. We know the CEO over there. Great team over there. They helping
awesome
people.
guys.
They helping people get their money up. So feel free
Yep.
to go check them out. The if you use the coupon code Ken, you'll get a discount. Check them out. If it resonates with you, that's definitely one avenue, one channel for you to level up with your income as it relates to sales. Back to
Or
you.
or or don't check them out. Ken, it's man, it's too hard. I'd rather chill on the couch. Ken, I just got off work. I don't feel like doing all that. This inflation stuff ain't all that bad anyways. I'll be straight. Ken, some people don't want to do it. So if you're part of people that don't want to do it, don't do it then. Don't do it. But hey, for those of you that understand, this ain't no game, man. This is real life, and this is you control your fate, not the man, not your partner, not your parents. You control your fate, man. So, don't complain and say that things aren't going your way and that you ain't got no opportunities if you haven't hopped on something like Level Careers. Come on, it don't cost that much. It's not, and it's even more worth it in terms of your time investment. So really jump into that. Don't. And Ken is giving you the discount. He's giving you the hookup. So it's not like you're getting a sticker price. I just watched King of the Hill. I don't know if you saw that sticker price episode,
Yeah.
but you ain't pay sticker price. We're gonna help you out. But all right. Look, Ken, I'm gonna kick to you though. I mean, in terms of for me, inflation though, for me and my family, revenue needs to go up, expenses might need to go down, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, no, that's real. No, I agree with that as well. Inflation to me, you know, I man, I was at the gas station the other day, and I was at the gas station the other day, and I think it was like, my whip. Hey, it only take that primo, baby. It don't like, she don't like that. She don't
Mm.
like that. That cheap. She don't like that cheap. She like that
Not at
primo.
all.
That's supreme. So, so it was like 452. But like and so like for me, but I
Mm.
know the season that we're in. That's how it like when it started approaching the summertime. Anyway, gas prices usually go back up anyway. And so,
Mm-hmm.
but I saw it. I was like, oh dang, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh okay. This is the season that we in. And by the way, I am working with my options coach because we are going to look for some plays to strategically get in there to make some money from some of these season changes and prices going up.
Mm.
And so early stages of it, more details to come there. But yeah, so I saw it. I was like, okay, yeah, things are coming up. But to your point, income up, expenses down. And so about my channel, if you haven't watched some of my video, you can go back and check emergency fund, reducing your debt, all those things. And it's not a either or, it's both. It's all of it. Like, and so, but yeah, man, things are costing more, man. And that's just what it is. And so the same money the same dollars aren't going as far. And so if your income is staying stagnant and consistent, based what you mentioned earlier, you're just able to purchase less and less. Like, and so what you gonna do about it?
Right. And then like what I was saying earlier when I was saying it's layers. And so another thing, this is a part of it, like how like when I say your fate is in your hand, that don't just extend to of course certain level careers. That extends to educating yourself on these topics because if you don't know these things, it's not anyone's burden to teach you
Facts.
or hope that you know. So your job will come to you and be like, hey, Ken, you just been working your behind off. You've been driving results, 8K KPI. You've been crushing it. We're gonna give you this 2% raise. We just feel like we really calculated it. We gave you the most we could give you. We feel like you earned it. And you like, man, like, yo, like they loving me up here. They didn't really did me a solid. Next thing you know, Mr. Powell come out. Inflation is 7% this year. We don't know what we're gonna do. So now you really just got a pay cut, but you don't know it.
Man, that's deep. That's deep that you said that. That's real deep. Yeah, and so that's why we brought up inflation. We don't like to get all technical and all that, but just making sure you're thinking about these things and you understand the actual impact to your finances when inflation is increasing and them trying to get it under control and get it to decrease. It's impacting your spending power. And so I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's just to be aware of that. First of all, you should already be aware of it because you realize like, man, I'm not able to get as much. Like, man, why is my, well, this would be getting into interest rate, but like, man, it costs more for it to buy a car. It costs more to do this, and so you start food, all the things, and you like, dang, I ain't got no money left over, and so it's just things to think about. But our biggest thing is controlling the controllables. It's good to be aware and to educate yourself because to bro point, no one is obligated to teach you anything. And so we have to teach ourselves. And a part of our journey is we're going to share what we know. We're not acting like we know everything because we don't. And so it's a learning journey for us. But there are some things that we do know and that we'll share and we'll talk about some of those things and add our comments on it. All right. Okay. So all right, let's switch gears because this is important and it's a great segue because every what we just talked about has is a this scorecard is going to be a reflection of all those other things and how you navigate it. All right, so the we talking about net worths. So you never like when you looking up this stuff, you see average, you see median, average, obviously, average net worths naturally means that it's going to be higher because they taking into account the outliers, the billionaires and things like that. And so they do median and to kind of calibrate some of those outliers. That's just paraphrasing, but that median. So, from my understanding, and depending on what source you look at, I was looking at the I was looking at Pew Research Center. You can look at others, but give or take, it's still not good. So, African American net worth $27,000.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Let's not get into the semantics of it, but $27,000. When you hear that, what do you think about?
I mean, I'm glad it's not negatives, but
But I've heard
wow.
some people say negative. So, like, depending on what study you're looking at. So, let's go from negative to 27,000. Is still like when you hear that, what are you thinking about?
I mean, so and this was median.
Medium.
Wow. So if I cut Black America in half, my knife would land on $27,000 net worth. To the
Median wealth
left
of
is
U.S.
everything
household.
else.
Yeah, median wealth of U.S. households in December 2021. Obviously, it's 2024, so things can change.
Mm-hmm.
But we just using a snapshot in time. So let me as you get some more. I'm gonna give you some more context. White households 250,000. Uh, it changed to uh 203,000. There was a 23% change. Blacks went from 27,100 to 15,000 actually. Hispanics 48,700, and then it went to 34,400. They still above black. Asians 320,000. It dropped to 224,000, and then it got
Is
other.
is this household to comparing household to household, like black household?
Yeah, and that's basically what they're trying to highlight in this study: median wealth of U.S. households. And the snapshot is December 2021. I came across this. I said, I'll bring it to the pod.
This is what I will say. Now, I ain't no money guru. Uh, Here's what I do know. Now, when I think of a household, I think of two people at least who are capable of contributing to the income. You might have a kid that's old enough to work, but you don't count that. You know, let them keep their money or whatever. But at least two people. Okay, maybe a situation one person passes or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
one person income households. Things happen. But for a two-person household, I think that if you both have, I'm not sure what the median income is for black man, black woman, black whoever. Well, let's just say 40,000. Or even, I'm trying to think if I'm more generous, 35. But let's just say 70,000. And that's median. That doesn't take into account age or where you are.
Yeah.
But so this includes people that's older who don't have more than that or have less than that. It includes the young people that's crushing it that have way more than that. But my main
Outlier.
take, yeah. So my main takeaway is that two in households with two incomes, that's at least at the normal level. You gotta be on higher income earner. You gotta be earning six figures. But after 2 to 3 years, I'll say after 5 years, you should surpass that. You should surpass that network.
But what if, I mean, that sounds easier said than done. What if you living day to day, check to check, what would, from a Gen Z perspective, what would you say?
Well, that's the problem. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. It's all a matter of perspective, and I don't. I'm not gonna plug this person's book, this person's name, but it's a book about y'all people on this might just get it. It's a very popular person about making a small change to affect the greater outcome of things, but just making a small change, a small thing. And I just started the book, so I'm not gonna act like I understand it, but like it's the same concept of I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? I forgot. I'm on the book now, trying to talk to the name.
No, we're just talking about, what would you say? You was just using an example of a
Oh
book
yeah.
of like 1%, like incremental growth, like with like
So
one change.
it's about think about changing your perspective, right? You wouldn't if you were going to. It doesn't matter what level of football you're at, what level of football you're playing, whether you're playing youth. I mean, up to a certain age, like say 14 and up. You're playing high school, college, D1, D2, all up to the NFL. You wouldn't just come to practice. All right, fellas, go home. All right, fellas, show up to the game. Let's just play day by day. Let's play it day by day. Let's go day by day. We would actually get mad at them. Man, you messing up my parlay. We don't hold them to a standard we wouldn't hold
Yeah, yeah,
ourselves
yeah, yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
He missed a three, mess up your parlay. Now you cussing him out, sending him death threats. But you you got your pay cut for being late and no one called you out. You just it just happened.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
But if MB show up to your job like, bruh, trash, boom, boom,
You
make
messing
a
up my
shot, dude.
parlay, bro. You ain't get that you ain't get the merit increase because your performance reviews suck.
Man, you misquoted. Now my parlay, my parlay. Tell me about my parlay now. You done misquoted 3 months in a row. But yeah, man, shoot. But just think about like, and of course it's easier said than done, but just think about taking that same shift and saying, I actually was just talking about this with one of my friends. Because me and him had first talked maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and we were just talking about money. And he was telling me about, what he had done and what he was looking to do in terms of his financial goals, where he had been and where he was looking to go. And so I was just, sharing some of my story too. I was telling him
Did you
like,
tell
hey
them to
man,
subscribe to the channel?
I should have. I should now I think about. That would have made that conversation a lot shorter. I should have said, man, 2 words, click here.
Yeah.
Man, but I just told him. I said, hey man, he. I won't say he's grown a lot, but he just came to me today and he was like, man, it just it hit different. It hit different having a plan for my money now. I got a plan. I feel prepared. I feel in control. And I was like, you darn right. We're not kids no more. Right now, we're grown and to what they say, plan to fail to plan. So unless you plan to fail with money, I would plan. I get the plan.
Yeah. Facts. Facts. Okay, so as we wrap, yeah, this is my passion, helping people build their network. Just growing up, you know, um, you don't know what you don't know. So I want to start there. So like, and so you extend grace and all that good stuff, but it's still, like you said, no one is obligated to teach you. And so even with the excuse of like, even with you extending grace of like, well, my parents didn't teach me about net worth. Their parents didn't teach them about net worth. But at the same time, net worth still exists. Buying more assets than liabilities still exists. It's existing, meaning like you might be off in where you are, where you live, and just never get to the conversation. But that does not mean it's not real. Like that does not mean it's not impacting your life. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And so just because y'all didn't grow up having the conversations, hey, there was other families they were having the conversations, like and having money
right,
conversations outside of we can't afford it, just the stuff that have you in this state of lack, right? And so like I can't afford it, we can't do that, like and so put
yeah,
that back, and you can just hear, and it's just more in that space. And so that's my passion is to promote more families, individuals to talk about money more. Like you got to talk about money more. Like, and it doesn't mean that you worship money. Like it's money is just a vehicle, but the undertone, but what it really is, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. So my wife and I, we took a couple financial courses. And yes, we wanted to ensure that we were on the same page with our finances. But what it also did was money was just a subject and a topic and a vehicle that we were coming together around. But what it really built, what it really helped was the togetherness, the trust. It built the trust because we had to work together. We learned together. We grew together. And so those were the things that happened. And it was some of the best thing ever. And so like it enhanced our relationship, and money just happened to be the topic, but we worked together. And so it brought in some of those other things of family, and togetherness and things of that nature. And so like sometimes, so because sometimes people are like, well, y'all talk about money. It's like that's just a subject, but it's bigger than that.
right,
Like
for sure.
it's much bigger than that. And so I get
Yeah,
pretty passionate in that area, but I wanted to share that, and because that's my perspective, like helping people build their net worth one
yeah,
helping people and families build their network one day at a time. But really what I'm secretly doing is once you come together as a couple and you're talking about it, it's something that you all are doing together. And that's really important as well.
right,
And it just becomes a tradition, and it just becomes what you do. And then now everyone's looking at you like you're weird. You're just an outlier, but you're not weird.
right. That's
because we want that to be
that's
the new
true.
normal, because that we want that to be the new normal.
Right, right. You hit it on top of the head, especially. And I find it's certain phrases that certain women say. And I'm sure we have our phrases that we say that get at them, or maybe they don't understand. But there's certain phrases that they say that sometimes men, or I actually we don't decipher or we don't quite understand. It gets lost in the soup. Like one of the words is security, safety. And so as a man, you're like, what that mean? She means she wants safety, financial security and safety.
Yeah,
I get money. What is she talking about?
yeah,
No, dude. How about this? Let's translate from women needs to dude needs to guy needs. She means she wants some stability, or not stability. What's the word? She means she wants some consistency, a routine, a pattern, something that's more predictable. It doesn't matter if you bring in 10K this month, hit a 4K month, or hit a 4 month drop patch, or it doesn't matter if you all these months you're making money, but only in half of the months do you save. The other half of the month, so you just spend all of it. There's nothing left to show for it. And so she's like, "Yeah, babe, I'm making all this money, but I still don't feel good at the end of the month, like the way I felt at the beginning." And so just having these talks with your partner, and I want to. We're not here to come off as better than anybody. Really the difference is in talking about perspective, and really it's perspective and knowledge. Just knowing, like, oh, we can actually build up our net worths. Like for
yeah,
me, like this school, it really the difference between me and getting in was really a matter of me knowing I could get in and knowing to apply,
yeah,
getting the tip, getting information. And so you gotta do what you can to get the information that'll change you and your family's lives. Like, wow, like, oh, because when I look at back to your original question, what do I think of those numbers about the black median income? I, I don't think it's an income problem that's leading to on. I see that's a low number, especially when you compare it to more than 10 times, almost 10 times white net worth. I don't want to hear about no history, because okay, cool, you can claim history if they median net worth was a million, 10 million. Like,
yeah,
dang, they just up. We can't even catch up. Like 250 wasn't. It's high, but like, okay, I see what y'all working with. 27K is like, yo, what are we doing? And so to me, at least, I'm like, yo, what are we doing? We can't really do nothing. And
yeah,
so I say we, but
yeah,
start with your individual household, figure out, yo, don't let's not just focus on how much we're making, but how much do we have to show for it at the end of the day, the end of the month, the end of the year? We run our numbers. What's our net worth?
yeah. Money management help you get there. Take quick tip. Automate. Check out the previous videos. Automating your finances, automating your investing, automating your debt payoff, and basically what ends up automating your savings, which is different from investing. Saving for that emergency fund. Before you know it, it's like it's happening on autopilot, and before you know it, time is passing, and then you see like, oh wow, man, it's growing. But guess what else is growing? The debt is decreasing, your investments is increasing, and you continuously going down the path of your career or whatever else you got going on. And if you are in a position where you are making more and more money, you're just able to increase what your automatic contributions are or what have you. And then but you got to play the long game. This isn't a short-term thing. And of course, there's a lot of nuances and things like that to take into consideration, historical context and things like that. But to be honest, you can get lost in that and you can become a victim and blame that, stay in that space and become hopeless. And so our thing is let's control the controllables, let's be hopeful, let's have a plan, and let's be practical. Let's do some practical things today. Like, can we look ourselves in the face? Like I remember ET say, look yourself in the face. ET, can you look yourself in the face of his old school TGIMs, right?
Yeah.
Um, like, can you genuinely look yourself in the face and say, I was literally a great steward of my income. Every dollar had an assignment, and I still have a negative net worth.
Mm.
Like you're not gonna be able to say that because if you're doing everything that you possibly can with what you are and what you have, and like you're gonna start seeing some incremental growth, and everybody growth is different. But so like I just want to leave you with that to think about. And again, it's one perspective, our perspective. We had two perspectives. We just sharing things, but we just want to see people do better, be better, and we're living what we're talking about. We're on our journeys too. But I tell you one thing: my net worth ain't no $27,000. Like I surpassed that a long time ago. Like a
Let's go.
long time ago. Like
Don't tell me one time.
and also, but for the folks that are there, that's okay. But let's work on a plan. Let's get to 28. Then let's get to 30. Then let's get to
Mhm.
32.
Yeah.
Let's get a 30. Like so, like it's about the plan. And then what ends up happening is once you start seeing that momentum, you start getting excited, you putting focus on it, and then you like, shoot, man, I need to get a man, let me get a side hustle, man. Let me get it up a little bit more. Like, and so
Yeah.
it starts generating energy in you. And like
Mm,
maybe you were going back to Dave Ramsey, maybe you were that person that was on that lazy side. And maybe you weren't lazy, maybe you just procrastinate. And and it can be perceived as being lazy, however you want to interchange those things. So um, but then once you started taking action, you started moving, you started seeing progress. That's how it happens. And so, and you don't have to do it in a silo. Like, get help, get support. Like, it's a book
yeah.
called Who Not How. Like, understand who you understand. Once you decide what it is that you want, then identify who can help you get there. And
Mm.
so that's what I'll leave you with. Um, great comeback, great comeback episode. Feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Hey, we rolling, baby. We here. We here. Make sure you subscribe, like,
That's it.
comment, and to the next video. We'll see you next week.